See, we've produced a soil document, a common document for the world and also for every nation, based on its latitudinal positions, regions where they are, and the soil types that exist. We have identified 14 types of basic types of soil, and also the economic conditions of the region, and of course the agricultural traditions, because you cannot change agricultural traditions overnight. You will have to work with that. So considering all this, we have made a policy document for every nation, or in some cases for every region. Right now, all the Caribbean nations are signing up with us we are signing MOUs with them with the soil policy document, how to implement. We will do similar things with most nations. Maybe the large nations may not want to sign because they have their own systems to do it, but it's okay as long as they do it. But smaller nations, we're trying to sign up and handhold them in that direction. When you ask specifically what, see, there is one fundamental thing that we need to understand. When Alexander asked about what about climate change, essentially one important aspect of climate change is the amount of ppm per in the air around us. On an average, if it's 350, it is considered normal, but today we've reached 410. This 410 means 60 ppm extra. ppm is a unit for the carbon dioxide or carbon molecules in the carbon particles in the air. To bring this down, one important thing is to enhance photosynthesis on the planet. Whether it's a cover crop or whether it's a bush or it's a tree or grasses, whatever it is, always land should have photosynthesis going on. Photosynthesis is the magic, perpetual magic that is going on using the perpetual energy of the sun. The very life that we are is manufactured from this, because before photosynthesis started on this planet, people say, scientists say approximately 1 billion years ago or whatever, whenever it started, before that, the oxygen levels in our atmosphere was less than 2%. Obviously, human beings and most mammals could not exist in that. But today it is 21%, where all of us are comfortable. So this 21% of oxygen has happened mainly because of photosynthesis. So, right now if you look at, human habitations, the lands that human beings have occupied, if you fly across the world, you will see the level of photosynthesis happening in every land that human beings have put their hands into is minimal or nothing, Large parts of the time in the for months on end in a year, there is nothing happening, it's just plowed and left open, killing all the microbial activity. The first 15 inches, 12 to 15 inches of soil is responsible for 87% of the life on the planet, including you and me. Today we are using machines where they're plowing almost like 12 to 14 inches deep and leaving it open to the sun. This is like we peel off our skin and stand in the sun, you will be screaming. That's exactly what the land is doing. Land is screaming, but nobody is hearing. So, the most important thing is always there must be a crop. If you have no yield crops coming, there must be a cover crop all the time. So one of the things that we have been pushing for is for the governments to give some financial assistance to put cover crops. Just now, about 10 days ago, United States announced $1 billion fund to enhance the cover crop in various states in the country. Similarly, United Kingdom has announced a subsidy for cover crops. Now we're pushing the Indian government and every other government, at least in the seasons when you're not growing food on it, there must be a cover crop, enormous foliage. When time comes, you just put this back, that creates humus in the soil, and that humus is the basis of who we are, because the word human itself comes from the word humus.
So essentially, we have to reteach people everything that they know is essentially about…
No, we just have to remind them, because 40, 50 years ago we knew what to do. Suddenly we forgot, because from land we moved to lab. It's time from lab we once again come back to the land, because it's on the land that life happens. In the lab you can experiment. Life happens only in the land.
Yeah. And there's, I was watching the YouTube video about this already, and there's something like we have 80 more harvests or less?
Different people are saying from 60 to 80 harvests, some people are more optimistic are saying 80 to 100 harvests. 80 to 100 harvests means approximately 45 to 60 years is max. But every responsible scientist is clearly pointing out by 2045 we'll be producing 40% less food, but our population will be over 9 billion. That's not a world we want to live in.
No.
That's not a world where we want to leave our children and go.
No.
But this can be turned around. We are in a cusp of time right now. If we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years or maximum 20 years, we can make a significant turnaround in the soil quality and in turn, all the other aspects related to it. But if we'll say, let us say we let it go for another 30 to 40 years, because the loss of biodiversity per year on an average is around 27,000 species. I'll repeat that. 27,000 species, not organisms. That many species of microorganisms are going extinct. So if you let this roll for another 30 to 40 years, we will come to a place where if we do everything possible to turn it around, it will take 150 to 200 years. That's a disaster.
Wow.
For Sadhguru, first of all, thank you for taking this on. This can't be easy for you to do video after video, trip after trip, educating all these people on this, and it's incredible what you're doing. For everyday people like Gustaf and I, what can we be doing as individuals to help?
See, right now, everybody wants to get their hands in the earth right now because they're inspired by a video or something. That is not what we need. First thing we need to understand is, we should stop doing things for our satisfaction and do something that is a solution. We are interested in a solution, not doing something for my personal satisfaction. This is an important step everybody must take. So if we want a solution, it has to be enshrined in the policy of every nation. Why should it be enshrined in every policy of every nation? See, right now, if you have 100 acres of land, you're doing a great job with the soil, you're taking very good care about it. But what is the guarantee that the next generation will do that? They may turn it into a desert. That's what we have done. In 1 or 2 generations, we've done that, right? So, it has to get instituted in the policy. If you want to understand what I'm saying, see, for example, if you see the cities right now, in every city there is a building law. If you have 10,000 square feet of land, you can't build 10,000 square feet of building. You can build 6,000–7,000, you have to allow space for yourself and your neighbor. But just go to the old cities and see. Wherever there are really old cities, you will see there is no concept of a window. They've all just built side by side, attached to each other. Just one door to enter, one door to get out. So that is simply because there was no law. Today, you can have 100 acres of land, you can plow every inch of it, turn it into a desert in the next 10 years, nobody to ask you, why are you doing this? We must understand, soil is not our property. Soil is not our property. It has come to us from previous generations. It's very important we hand it over to future generations in its living condition, as a living soil, not as dead material.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. You've blown my mind yet again. So when do you start your trip to begin this process of, so I understand you're meeting with politicians, people all over, trying to institute this one step at a time. Your ride is something like 30,000 kilometers.
So right now, I'm coming to United States on 5th of March, I'm sorry. And I have some media interactions and stuff, I finished that. Then I'm in Caribbean region for about 4 days. And then by 15th I'm in London, there are many events till 20th. 21st I start to ride from London. So then we go to Holland and from there Germany and that whole trip, as I said earlier. But on the way, I'm taking a 2-day break and going to Ivory Coast. because it is the UNCCD's COP15. 170 countries' representatives will be there. So I will be addressing them and also handing over these soil policy document to each nation, and